what I did there. Okay.
Okay, so how many of you eat fast food more than 2 or 3 times a week? Okay, so some of you may eat it more than twice a week, like myself, because throughout the years, Fast Food Nation has evolved and become a part of the American culture. The epidemic of fast food has evolved and taken a toll on the nation's economy and health as a whole. As a result, the economic growth of fast food industries and restaurants has risen. However, the healthfulness of it all has not changed during the past 10 years. Because of the ingredients and treatments in all fast food processes. My experience with fast food leads me to gain more knowledge about what I seem to eat almost every day, since I myself live in the fast food nation. The economic growth of fast food has risen over the past 10 years. Corporations such as McDonald's, Jack in the Box, and Burger King have all grown nationwide throughout the years. Advertisements have made these restaurants intriguing in one way or another. Consequently, fast food chains have become very well known and popular between adults and children because of advertisements such as billboards, television commercials, and even products. Although most of the advertisements promote special meals and deals, they do not really publicize healthy deals unless it comes with a combo. Marcia Clement's article called Global Food Prices discusses the high prices for home-cooked meals. According to her article, Clement reports that spiking food prices have brought pain to the supermarket checkout counters for millions of American families this past year. But in many developing countries, the situation is far more severe. Why might the reason be? The reason for this might be because a bag of broccoli costs more than simply purchasing a $1 hamburger or even 2. As the film Fooding states, cheap price food for very expensive food. The oversupply of meat packing has caused the value of its supply to drop to a low number. Thus, the economy of fast food industries has risen because people in general cannot afford to buy anything else. The cheapest item to buy is the one that will take away the hunger faster and resulting in fast food buy. We all know about the cheap price and great taste in fast food, but do we really know about how the taste is made? I myself had no knowledge about the hidden world as to which Food Inc. calls the world deliberately hidden from us. Fast food industries possess information that they would not publicize in any kind of advertisements. They much rather keep this world to themselves and themselves only. In the book Fast Food Nation, Eric Schlosser describes the dark side of fast food and its process. According to his book, Schlosser reveals that the fast food chains, understandably, would like the public to believe that the flavors of their food somehow originate in their restaurant kitchens, not in distant factories or run by other firms. Fast food chains prefer to keep the making of taste in fast food untold, as if the public has no say in the creation of our own food. Schlosser also shares that instead I toured various laboratories and pilot kitchens where the flavors of well-established brands are tested or adjusted, and where new flavors are created. At the pilot kitchens and laboratories, Schlosser admits that the same pigments for female makeup products are used in making the food's appearance. Everything that occurs in the taste production is hidden from the consumers for many reasons. One that includes the loss of purchases. Besides the taste production secrets, the entire food process is extremely unhealthy. Fast food all highly mechanized, with few companies and few crops involved in the production process. According to the film Food Inc., ammonia became a processing tool because it kills bacteria. Although the first part of the statement might be true, it does not make the first part of it any healthier. The fact that gases are contributors to the production process of our food makes me wonder what else we don't know about what goes into our digestive system. Along with the unhealthy food process, the animals that become the food are not properly raised in order to become a healthy meal. Livestock operations have become cruel throughout the years. Animals used to be kept in the natural environment like farms. Nowadays, they are kept in overcrowded spaces while being fed nothing but foods that make them grow faster. Livestock maintenance has become less of a hassle for farmers and workers who just want to get the job done quickly and easily, not thinking critically about the effects that might arise from it. In the article Food Safety, David Hasansky acknowledges that problems may begin at the livestock operation where cattle may stand or lie in manure and be fed nothing but a natural mix of fattening foods that may contribute to the development of E. coli and other pathogens in their digestive systems. E. coli is a bacterium commonly found in other animals as well as humans, meaning that these are the effects of livestock not being treated and raised adequately. The treatment of these animals is not even close to how awful they are raised. Chickens, horses, and cattle are all mistreated as soon as they reach the livestock operation housing. The ones that die because of a disease or any other reason are left with the rest of the livestock that will soon become our food. Altogether, the final result can become a pathogen disease to which the consumers have no knowledge about. The health risks in eating fast food are always taken by us as consumers because of ignorance, the lack of knowledge to which we deserve to know. The livestock that contains the disease can be spread to every other livestock because such crowded and unsanitary spaces. David Hasansky concedes that as an estimated 5,000 people die yearly and some 76 million are sickened because of foodborne pathogens like E. coli, Listeria, and Vibrio vulnificus. All these kinds of diseases can accumulate in the livestock operations without even blinking. A consumer can go from being perfectly healthy to being dead in just a few days. Death can arise from eating just one bad hamburger at one bad restaurant, and it can actually lead to multiple deaths depending on how many of those hamburgers were contaminated or how many of the hamburgers that were made were contaminated from that particular livestock. This simply is called the unknown, never knowing what you have in your hands. In conclusion, fast food has become a pandemic throughout the last 10 years. Brands of fast food industries are already well known within all age groups. This has caused the economic growth of fast food chains, yet has not changed the healthfulness of it all. The treatment of fast food's production process is not properly rising. Although it might seem as if there's nothing wrong with what we're usually eating, no one ever knows what is in store because we do not know about the process production. Labels don't always tell the truth and they never show the whole picture.
Which one do you use? Let's do.
That just made me more hungry.
Oh, they said, are you sober?
All right, well, the audience survey at the beginning is a little bit, it gives you one of those awkward moments where it's hard to kind of get through the opening, and I think you could have something a little bit more involving and creative. The subject is clear, but your exact goal in the presentation needs to be sharper. I didn't really hear a preview of what the structure was going to be, what the supporting issues were, and in fact, as I was listening, it sometimes sounded like things were being randomly dropped in. I do think that the whole thing about E. coli, for instance, is part of a subject concerning the health of the food and possible contaminants in that whole chain. But at one point it sounded like in that section you're really talking more about the welfare of the animals than you were about the potential contamination. So I think there needs to be a little bit more distinctness between the supporting points. On the delivery issues, standing behind the podium the whole time makes it look a little bit like you are, I don't want to say hiding from the audience, but you're separating yourself from the audience. Your gestures need to be a little bit more consistent. Sometimes, of course, you're doing the indicators so that people know, so that your accomplice, your assistant, knows to change the screen. But you do have a tendency to nervously, do the thing with your hands. You're sometimes holding them, not quite pulling the fingers like we saw earlier, but a little bit of that sort of anxiety thing, and that seemed a little strange. Your facial expressions are fine. Your eye contact is inconsistent. You're really looking down a lot, and part of the problem, of course, is because you've got the podium there, your notes are on the podium, that's where you tend to look most of the time instead of at the audience. I did think that the visuals were nicely integrated in the speech. There were some fun images to kind of get our attention. I don't know what the last one had to do with anything. It really felt like the speech was, I think, at the end, I think most people had a hard time knowing that the speech was at an end. There needs to be a more definitive summary and concluding statement, and the visual didn't really help you do that. Your voice, it's easy to hear you. I do think you need a lot more variety, though, in your voice to give it some energy and make it sound like you're a little bit more passionate about this as opposed to giving us the report that you might be doing for a science class. I didn't hear any obvious articulation or pronunciation errors. Like I said, I think your hands and the body movement staying behind the podium would be the main indicators of anxiety. It was 9 minutes and 45 seconds, so it was a wee bit long, almost 3 minutes long. So that's a little bit problematic. All right, thank you.